and I were good friends, and I think I hurt him when he heard that I helped Storky and Vincent to bring in some outside help to get them. You know, you'd be foolish to think that a man could lose an election when he controls 15 seats. So the 94 election, I didn't expect him to lose, but I thought we had to correct that imbalance of having this one-party parliament.
While that was happening, 94, all that time, current Prime Minister Gonsalves was fashioning a sort of arrangement.
Well, it happened concurrently. I think it was a Friday. We even laughed that my house must have been bugged. I brought some guys in from Barbados and Grenada to help Storky and Vincent. And Mr. Mitchell, I think the same day, dissolved Parliament. So there were some other people who took over the thing, and they had this concerned citizens group.
So at that point,
the conservative citizens group then dumped Storky as the leader, and Vincent went back as leader, and Ralph was the deputy leader.
So at that point, that's when you started to warm up to, well, the Labour Party, which was later to become the Unity Labour Party.
Yeah. You got to remember that Vincent Beach and my brother Steely were bosom friends from Canada. They actually came here to do a project with me. We started, my first investment was with them on the Diamond Drive-In
Cinema.
Yeah, so we were all there together, Jim Lockhart, Steely.
Okay.
You know, we were all there. And quite frankly, I didn't like the way Mr. Mitchell had pushed the one-party thing. You know, there was an opinion, a legal opinion, that Beach was in fact still leader of the opposition, and he should have allowed him to. He should have allowed him to
exercise his role in Parliament
and appoint two senators. But he went ahead with that, and quite frankly, I think that was the worst.
So that was your bugbear.
That was
your bugbear.
I think it was the worst period of his thing. That one-party thing robbed him of good debate in Parliament, and it made him a bit careless with the Otley Hall and things like that. I think he got very careless because he had too much of his own way. And he's a brilliant man. He's a good friend. Socially, we get on very well.
Good.
But you see, quite often with politicians, if you differ with them on something, then...
Which brings me on to another point. You were within the ranks of the ULP, and in 1998, after the 1994 election was lost by this sort of arrangement that, it wasn't the ULP then, but there was some arrangement, but Prime Minister Gonsalves had won a seat, Sir Vincent Beach had won a seat, and the third seat was Louis Straker, I think, yes. And then in 1998, the ULP came into being. Ken Boyea was fully on board, and you actually contested the 1998 election, won your seat in Central Kingstown, but the ULP lost. Now, Prime Minister Gonsalves, in his book again, says that the ULP held a convention in 1998, and at that convention he was elected leader.
Yeah.
He says that his instincts always led him to believe that Storky John, and to a lesser extent Ken Boyea, would create difficulties for his leadership and difficulty for the unity of the ULP. Is that a fair thing for
I don't think it was difficulty for the ULP. Ralph's politics in those days was very aggressive. I must tell you, I had my reservations when he became Prime Minister. And
what were the reservations?
The reservations was that he was sometimes extreme in his view. When that 98 thing came and we got the majority of
votes, but you
no, votes, but
popular votes cast, but you lost by one seat.
I think he was in his element. He's that sort of confrontational type of person.
He says that he's not And he's referring to you and Stark. He says he doesn't have time with this, what he describes as sort of petty bourgeois politics.
Yeah, well, I don't see it
criticize you and Starky John for practicing.
I could see that now.
He's a practical man on the ground
and quite frankly,
and hard hitting.
Quite frankly, to give him his due, I believe 9/11 played right into his hands. I think his type of politics, had it not been for 9/11, would not have been as easy as he makes it look. I think with 9/11 and the axis of power switching, you know, away from our traditional people, I think Gonsalves, looking back at it now, is ideally suited to that time. I think I think today, the things that he's doing with countries that other people criticize him for, I admire him. I think I would not have been able to do that.
Yes.
My grounding was British.
Petty bourgeois, as Prime Minister Gonsalves
you call it petty bourgeois, but you know we were taking one stage at a time. We were coming through. We were nationalist Caribbean people, but of a certain ilk. We had been brought up a certain way, and we weren't flirting with the unknown.
Yes.
Ralph, because of his wide reading, he read a lot. He had a lot more insights into political systems that we never even bothered with. And I think 9/11 helped him. I think anybody else in power at that time would not have fared as well as
Prime
he
Minister
did.
Gonsalves did.
Yeah.
In the dying moments, Mr. Boyea, I'm not cutting you off, in the dying moments of this section, there's one other thing I want you to clarify or at least comment on. Gonsalves, Prime Minister Gonsalves also claimed that you and Starky were flirting with Mitchell, hoping that maybe he would hand over his government to you all.
No, it wasn't that.
Is that a baseless allegation, baseless speculation?
It's not a baseless, nor is it 100% accurate. I think Mr. Mitchell has always had a liking for me. I think he admires my business. In the days of the flour mill, he and I went to Guyana and there and there. And he got angry with me. I think part of the flour mill problem was due to his anger with me. But I think he liked...
He liked your style, and he
liked my style. And I believe that even today, Mr. Mitchell will feel happy to see me leading a party rather than either of the two guys who are there.
In that view, you're saying that Mr. Mitchell would prefer you as the leader of the NDP to Annie Eustace.
I would think so, and I think, you know, he's made that clear, but I'm no longer in politics, and he has this longevity, and I don't play him out of further politics in St. Vincent, not necessarily as the leader or something, but I think he is astute enough. And in that day, to come back to your question, I think he had hoped that after Grenada, if Starky and I had come into the party, that he would have been able to save the day. But
that was not to be.
There were other people in the party who thought otherwise.
With that note, we go on the break. You're looking at Unrendered. My guest is Mr. Ormiston Ken Boyea. When we come back, I'll be chatting more with Mr. Boyea on the political landscape of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.